my name is Mary Armbruster, and I've been the Director of Association for our province since January 1st of last year. It's been quite a whirlwind. Our board has had lots of great ideas and a lot of things to implement. COVID, of course, has brought with it its own set of challenges that we've been trying to work around to make sure that we can still stay connected to one another in our small groups, our regions, the province, the congregation, and also the federation. So it's been a full year, but a wonderful year. And I'm very grateful to be in this position. I'm very grateful for our board, and I'm very grateful for all of the support from our staff and from my supervisor and from the PLT. So I really want to begin expressing gratitude and welcome everybody here tonight. I know we all have busy full days and we Zoom a lot. So thank you for making this a priority and for finding the time in your schedule to be here with us. As we make plans for the future for association, it's really important that we hear from our sisters and our associates. I'm a big believer in our tagline, "Together we are more." And so I'm really happy to see a good representation of both sisters and associates here tonight. At this time, I will give you a very brief overview, so you know what to expect from our gathering tonight. We will open, as always, with prayer. You will hear from me about some of the work that I've been about and our leadership board members. We do have new members from last year that I'm excited for you to meet. You will hear from our PLT liaison. We will be remembering, this is something new this year. We want to remember our sisters and associates who have passed away since our last gathering on April 28th of last year. We'll hear a report on goals from our strategic plan that were accomplished in 2021. We will introduce some broad goals for our new strategic plan, 2022 to 2025. And the most important part, in my opinion, of tonight is we are going to have time for small group sharing so that you can contribute ideas and give your feedback on how you would like us to become more vibrant as an association. We'll take time to honor our jubilarian sisters and associates. It's quite an impressive lineup of women who have served well and served long. So we're delighted to acknowledge them and congratulate them on their years of service. And at the end, each of us will have an opportunity, sisters and associates, to renew our commitment to living the charism of unifying love. So again, I thank you for coming, and let's open with a prayer.
Let's remember that we are always in the presence of God. Creator of all things, may the marking of spring remind us of the new life promised through the sacrifice of Jesus. May our Lenten journey be a time of reflection and prayer as we watch our world come back to life. Strengthen us to serve the dear neighbor without distinction and enable us to be a healing presence for those in need. And let us remember our brothers and sisters in Ukraine as they face unimaginable fear, that they are protected from harm and that they feel the love and support from around the world. Amen.
Amen.
The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
I am very happy to be here. My name is Carrie Arnold. I am really lucky to be the chairperson of the Associate Leadership Board. I've been an associate since 2013, and this is my 6th year on the board, and I love it so much I'm going to stay one extra one. I really feel like we have accomplished a lot. We have a lot that we're looking forward to. And I think what I'm most proud of right now is that we're working hard to establish deeper connections among all of the community of St. Joseph. We as associates meet the board 3 times a year. We came off a meeting a couple weeks ago and kind of realized that we had come to the end of our strategic plan and realized that we need to come together in June. We will be spending that weekend formulating our new vision, our new strategic plan. And like I said, I am just so grateful to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful board. We have representation from all of the regions. We're really glad for that. So I want you to get to meet every single person that you see listed here. You might have to meet one by video and one you just hear a bit about because she couldn't make it tonight. But thank you for putting confidence in us and for being here tonight.
Hi, good evening. My name is Phil Brosh. I've been an associate since 2009. I'm we live in St. Louis. My wife, Kathy, works at Nazareth. Been on the board for, I think, as long as Carrie has. So I think the only one that has been on longer would have probably been Santa. So nice to be here tonight. Look forward to some great conversation and look forward to the meeting in the small groups and discussing a few items.
Sorry, I'd muted myself. Hi there, I'm Kelly Drummond. I am from the Kansas City region. I've been an associate since 2010. And I've been on the associate leadership board just since November. So I'm kind of the new kid on the block, or one of the new kids on the block. I also work at St. Teresa's Academy here in Kansas City. I've been there since 2008. I just want to say I feel very blessed every day to be a part of this association and to have the connections that I have with all of the sisters and associates. And I look forward to growing those even more. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sister Marie Joan Harris, and I have been on the Associate Leadership Board for 5 years, and like Carrie, I'm extending one more year because we've had a lot of change. As I think about what's been so great about being on the Associate Leadership Board is just the opportunity to get to know people and to have that sharing of the heart, laughing together, praying together, discussing. And for me, it has been a real experience of the community of St. Joseph, of sisters and associates, working together to carry our charism into the future.
Hello, I'm Carol Hillestad. I represent the Kansas City region for the Associate Leadership Board. I have been an associate for the Sisters of St. Joseph since 2008 and spent nearly 30 years of my career at Avila University. I have been blessed to be on the Associate Leadership Board for the past 3 years. As an associate and a board member, I especially appreciate the spirit of the community of St. Joseph. I am sorry not to be in person tonight, but I know you will enjoy the board presentation. Thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Jim Johnson. I'm from Kansas City, or I'm living in Kansas City now. And I've been an associate since 2008. I joined when Carol joined, and I've been on the leadership board since, well, for 6 years, and I'm not extending my time on the board. Didn't want to crowd out too many people from Kansas City. but I definitely have enjoyed the experience and I recommend it to all who are considering. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Andy Lotus. I've been an associate for a year and have been on the board for less than a year, but I am really enjoying the spirit, wit, and wisdom of these wonderful people and look forward to meeting all of you. And I've worked at St. Joe with my wonderful better half, Katie Lotus, for 20 plus years.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Marge Mattice. I'm from Green Bay. I have been an associate for 2.5+ years now, enjoying every minute of it, meeting new faces, being part of a community that I feel has some real positive direction and has provided me with lots of growth. I am brand new to the board and I am looking really forward to continuing the growth and good things that are happening in the community of St. Joseph.
Hi, I'm Sister Claire Spaeth, and I live in Denver. I am very new as a member of the Associate Leadership Board. In fact, my first meeting was by Zoom 10 days ago. But I look forward to working with everyone. I admire the honesty, the deep sharing, and the commitment among all the board members. And so I believe that together, all of us, we sisters and associates, can be the more for one another and for the dear neighbor. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this very important ministry. I appreciate it.
I'm Sister Bonnie Murray from St. Louis in my 62nd year as a CSJ, and currently I'm in my 3rd year serving on this board. Having mentored 2 associates and being part of a Sharing of the Heart group, I feel being a board member is another way of experiencing connection among my sisters and associates. A good portion of our board work consists in listening to the Spirit and gathering feedback from you in order to set a direction for deepening our relationship with each other. It is a privilege to be on this board. And I would like to mention Laura Rossman, who's from St. Louis, not able to be with us tonight, but she's serving in her 5th year on the board and is a very vital member of the board. So we thank you.
Well, welcome, community of St. Joseph, companions on our journey. I'm Sister Fran Mayer, and I am the Province Leadership Liaison with the Department of Association. I meet with Mary, the Director, at least once a month, and an active participant in the Associate Leadership Board meetings, and I regularly attend all events like this assembly. So the theme of this assembly is to be connected, to be involved, to be part of the evolving community of St. Joseph. I am inviting each of you to participate in our upcoming chapter. A province chapter is held every 4 years, or the length of the term of the leadership team, and has a twofold purpose: to elect new leadership and to set future directions. There will be 3 sessions of chapter: April, July, and December. And in December, we will elect new leadership. The theme for our upcoming session, April 7th through 10th, is Imagining Transformation. Let it evolve. We are on the brink of change. After a year of communal discernment, the St. Louis and St. Paul provinces chose to remain as provinces under the congregation and collaborating with the other units. Albany, Los Angeles, and Peru discern to relate directly to the congregation. What does this mean? No one knows at this point. It will truly need to be planned and it will truly evolve. By the way, these decisions were just made within the last months. The 2019 congregational chapter also mandated a call to simplification for all units. I anticipate that there will be major changes in the St. Louis province at this upcoming chapter. I am inviting you to be part of the prayerful reflection and communal dialogue at the chapter of Imagining Transformation. The province and the community of St. Joseph are evolving. Please join the Sisters and Associates in April for the first session of chapter, as together we plan our future. Thank you.
As we gather this evening, we pause to remember and pray for our sisters and associates who have been embraced by their God since we met last year on April 28th. Sister Catherine Durr,
Associate Jean Reeve,
Sister Mary Socorro Ritchie,
Sister Loretta Joseph Namick,
Associate Bob England,
Associate Kathy Probst,
Associate David Novak,
Sister Ruth Burkhart,
Associate Margaret Larson,
Sister Carolyn Strack,
Sister Michael Therese Bowers,
Associate Maggie Mitchell,
Sister Ann L. Strezick,
Sister Michaela Zahner,
Associate Carolyn Henry,
Sister Mary Kay Dowling.
eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord.
And let perpetual light shine upon them.
May the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace.
Amen.
I'd like to share with you some of the goals that have been accomplished in 2021. I really had 3 major goals that I felt called to work through. The first one is to continue building and deepening relationships on all levels of governance. So I have continued my relationship with the Federation Companions Group. It's a group of associates, and we offered sessions in the fall to help connect people at the Federation level. I did a presentation called The Identity of Association in This Time and Place, and that's available on our website if you're interested in viewing that. We also are working on the conference that is coming up in July that will be held in St. Louis, where we will be offering a lunchtime for associates to do a meet and greet so we can connect in that way. I continue to work with our sisters in the other provinces with our ACOF group, and that has been a delight. I'm very excited, as Fran had mentioned, that we now have a group of associates for the first time in Peru. It's comprised of around 30 women who were formerly sisters who have gathered together to form an association for them. So throughout the different provinces, we are really working together, talking about formation, talking about ongoing formation and spirituality. And it's really been a blessed time to get to know them and to work with all of them. So 2 of these that I want to talk with you tonight about were part of our strategic plan. So I was tasked by our Associate Leadership Board to pull together a province-wide online initial formation. And we named this Journey to Association. This was formulated for a couple of reasons. With COVID, there had been little opportunity to do in-person formation as we had done in the past. And the second one is, from time to time, there are only 1 or 2 associates from a region who are interested in going through formation. So rather have them wait until there's a large enough group to make it meaningful. Doing it online as a province allows us to have good group discussions and a good formation process, even if there's only 1 person from someone's particular region. So we began our first one in the fall of 2021, pulled together a plan with all the pieces needed for formation. We were blessed to have Jamie and Sue Whalen from Wisconsin to take the role of co-coordinators. So they facilitated all of those sessions and worked with the presenters. And we also were blessed to have mentors secured for those who chose to have one. They are currently 5 out of 6, have completed 5 out of 6 of their sessions. Their next one will be in April. And after that, they will be invited to join current small communities or to be part of a newly formed all online community. So far, so good. We're hearing good things back from participants. The presenters have been amazing. And last night we had an online come and see, and we have 15 people interested in the next group of sessions that is set to begin next month. So we know nothing can take the place of in-person, but we do believe that having this online option really fills those 2 needs that I mentioned earlier. It doesn't mean that people are not still able to and supported in doing an in-person formation in their region. I'm happy to provide them with resources, whatever they need to get going on that. I'm happy to support them in that. So we still have all of those options available, and I'm happy to support whichever is going to be available for persons depending on their region. So candidates go through 6 online sessions. They do the 6 monthly sessions to really get to understand the feel of what it means to be part of a small community as an associate. And then there will be that discernment process before they are invited to make an initial commitment on that. So that was a major goal, and it was a lot of exciting resources to pull together. And so I'm delighted that it has come together, and also delighted that we're able to offer a second session of it beginning next month. So special thanks to everybody who helped in recommendations and talking through things, and to the Federation, whose resources I relied heavily on for the planning of that. If you have any questions about our province-wide online initial formation, the syllabus will be available next month. If you want to see the resources we used, the presenters we had, I'm happy to make that available to you. Regional coordinators was another major goal from the strategic plan. We were blessed to have someone step forward right away in Denver. Diane Burr is the regional coordinator out there, and she's been doing a great job. It's really important to have that local person who knows the associates, who's able to help for planning of regional gatherings, for ongoing formation, for ministry, and for initial formation. So I'm grateful to Diane for her good work. We recently have learned that there's a person willing to be the regional coordinator for the Kansas City region. We have not announced that yet, but I'm very excited about that. Again, it will make it so much easier to create a regional identity, to come together, again, for prayer, for ongoing formation, for ministry opportunities, and just to connect with one another, to see yourselves as associates within the larger context of your region. So I'm grateful for that. We're still working on things with Wisconsin and with St. Louis. Every region is a little bit different. St. Louis, of course, has many more associates than our other regions. But I met recently with our Wisconsin group, and I was excited to hear that every table in our small groups is interested in starting to pull together more opportunities for ongoing spirituality and for justice and ministry. So I have a feeling that we will have a coordinator bubbling up in the near future for Wisconsin. And that leaves us with St. Louis. If anybody would like more information on what is involved in that, please contact me. I'm really happy to have a one-on-one conversation and flesh things out with you. We could do so much more pulling everybody together in that region of St. Louis if we had a local person to help coordinate those things. I support people in these positions. Everything is not left unto them. It's really more of a partnership and a way of having that extra leadership within the local community. So I do invite anyone who's had a tug on their heart, please contact me. Or if you can think of somebody who you think would be a good coordinator, please encourage them to consider it. So a second goal that was accomplished almost is for me to visit each of the regions. So as I said, I'm active here in our Wisconsin group. We met for the first time all in person on Saturday for a St. Joseph gathering. And we all did a recommitment, and it was just so wonderful. It was my first inside unmasked gathering since COVID. And so it was extra special for all of us, I think, to be together. We did have some folks Zoom in, but the majority of us met in person. And again, there was a real sense of community and a sense that we wanted to see each other more. I've been to St. Louis twice. First, I was restricted because of COVID, but I first traveled there in April. And then again in June, I had opportunity to go to Nazareth, which was wonderful to get to meet so many of the sisters. We had an open house and coffee and donuts. And I met with a couple of the small communities. Please know that I am still always happy. If you'd like me to get to know your small group a little bit better, let me know, and I'm happy to join your meeting if it's a Zoom meeting. There's nothing better than doing that sharing of the heart with the small community, and the experiences I've had have been really meaningful. I had planned with the regional group, leadership group out in Kansas City to travel there in August, and COVID dashed that dream. So we postponed it, and I'm happy to report that I'm headed there at the end of April, and I'll spend 7 days with our Kansas City people, and really delighted and looking forward to that, to meeting with all the different groups out there. So that just leaves Denver. And I did have opportunity to travel to Denver, and it was marvelous. I'd never been before. And so I'm going to ask Sister Claire Spate if she would talk a little bit about what we did when I came for my visit, and let you know that my hope is to have a similar experience in each of our regions on an annual basis. So Sister Claire, would you like to share with them a little bit about our gathering when I came out to Denver?
Sure. Thanks, Mary. We had a wonderful gathering of our sisters and associates in September. And as Mary mentioned, she came to visit, as well as Sister Christina, one of our recently professed sisters from St. Louis. We, as usual, when we gather, we had some delicious treats to help sustain us throughout our time together. And then we met in small groups and then shared the fruits of our conversations in the larger group. One question that Mary had asked us is, what is the one thing you cannot not do? One of our associates said what followed for her was something like, when we honestly accept our strengths or preferred ways to serve, how do we see the Spirit leading us into decisions about living into our futures? The conversations were inspiring and challenging. We sisters and associates left the gathering being very impressed, Mary, with your leadership, and also with a strong sense of hope for the future of association. So thank you. Thank you, Mary, and thank you, everyone.
At our last meeting, the Associate Leadership Board discerned two overarching themes from the 2022 to 2025 strategic plan. We wrestled with the themes of the evolution and connection of our community over a prayerful and spirited 2-day Zoom meeting. We identified a theme to increase the vitality of the community of St. Joseph and a theme to create structures and opportunities to sustain and grow a dynamic association committed to the CSJ values of community, spirituality, and justice. We welcome your insights for developing the specific needs and strategies for our 2022 to 2025 strategic plan. Together, we are more. Thank you.
So we'd like to take a second and take a look at our Community of St. Joseph Creed. This was developed in 2013. We are a community of people connected, committed, and grounded in love. We embrace our baptismal charism of unifying love, empowered through the community of St. Joseph. We engage in a continual cycle of renewal, hospicing old ideas and midwifing new. We open ourselves to the graciousness of God's transformative action in and among us and our world. This requires us letting go, embracing the gifts and talents of each other so that together we might envision the possible and bring it to life. If we can dream it, we can make it happen. So we just like to take a few minutes and go over what our strategic plan is. We're very excited to see where it takes us. And I just want to say, we wanted to say that this plan will only be as targeted as our community makes it. Your needs will be our roadmap as we begin this 3-year process. Your input, identifying specific ways that we can work together to make association more dynamic, committed to community, spirituality, and justice. In a few minutes, Sarah will be breaking us out into smaller groups. Again, we need your input. The strategic plan is only as good as the input of the caretakers that are part of it. So this strategic plan is not what the ALB formed. We want to make this collaborative with all associates and sisters. So you'll have the opportunity to share in the smaller groups, and you'll have the opportunity to share your thoughts. Thank you.
If you have answers, ideas, feedback from your small group discussion, we ask that somebody from your group type that into the chat area, or you can email it to Mary Armbrust at marmbrust@csjsl.org.
I also want to add that if you think of something later, feel free to email me. And not just after this presentation, at any time, if you have any ideas or thoughts on how we can better serve the associate community or ways you want to be involved, please don't ever hesitate to get a hold of me.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, it looks like several are going to email, so we will go ahead with the presentation, and we'll go to Carrie.
I want to go back to my breakout room. Thank you so much for being here. I hope your rooms were as good as our room was. This was energizing. This was visioning. This was being able to put a face on a name that I've seen before. This was forming community. And I am so grateful that you have all been here and been with us in this process. We have so much that we can offer one another. We have so many ways that we can connect. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you.
That's all you need to say. That's sweet. That's sweet. And so,
Well, annually, we renew our commitment to bringing about loving unity by serving the dear neighbor and God without distinction. This year, 25 sisters and 5 associates celebrate a jubilee year of that commitment. They are 80 years, Sister Winifred Adelsberger. Jim, you're muted.
Thank you. 75 years, Sister Ida Robertine Beresheim.
Sister Mary Rebecca Campbell.
Sister Mary Shryak.
Sister Clara Vincent Slatinsky.
70 years, Sister Mary Rita Esser.
Sister Laura Ann Grady.
Sister Jane Hassett.
Sister Patricia J. Kelly.
Sister Joan E. Lampton.
60 years, Sister Mary Ann Bowes.
Sister Elizabeth Brown.
Sister Kathleen Crowley.
Sister Catherine Fila.
Sister Nancy Focal.
Sister Maureen Freeman.
Sister Joanne Gary.
Sister Rita McGovern.
Sister Helen Francine Otis.
Sister Jane Shaper.
Sister Rita Marie Schmitz.
Sister Gabrielle Schmitz.
60 years, Sister Frances Rita Voivodich.
Sister Marion Weinzeppel.
50 years, Sister Patricia M. Donnelly.
Associates at 25 years are Bonnie Lee Boswell,
Kathy Gruey.
Pat Jacobs,
Sharon Johnson.
and Kate Springs.
We celebrate with them and are grateful for their commitment through these many years.
I would like to thank everybody again for coming to be with us tonight. Again, I'm very happy that we have sisters and associates here together to help us plan for our future. I want to thank our liaison, Sister Fran Mayer, for her support of the board, for her support of me. I'd like to thank all of the Associate Leadership Board members for your passion, for as Andy said earlier, your wit, your humor, your wisdom. I feel very supported. I feel very challenged and enlivened by each of you. And I thank you for your generosity with your time and your talent and your spirits to gather 3 times a year and give up your whole weekend to come and plan for association is really something that I know I'm very appreciative of, as are, I'm sure, our other associates are. So thank you very much for your good work on that. Thank you for your work in putting together this presentation tonight. I hope it came across what a group effort this was, everybody having a part in the planning and everybody having a speaking part. So I thank each of you for that. I want to thank Sarah, who really did a great job pulling everything together, doing a rehearsal with us, and helping everything to go super smoothly tonight. I also want to thank Jenny and her whole communications team for all those good communications and getting our flyers out, and Jeff for his IT support. We really have a marvelous staff, and it's an honor and privilege to work with all of you and to have you as colleagues. So thank you for everything you do to support association, not just tonight, but all through the year. And finally, I want to give an extra reminder to consider joining us for the chapter. It is all virtual. It's a big time commitment, but again, it's really important for associates to be present, to be part of the discussion, and to be prayerfully supportive as these big decisions are being made, to be there for the sisters in support and in conversation. So I would encourage you to attend that if you are able. We will be meeting as a board in June to put together our strategic plan. We had 10 items from the small group I was in for consideration. And so I thank the people in my small group, but also all the small groups, because again, together we're more. This is everybody's association. Just as we have a working board, I like to think we have a working association, a working community of St. Joseph. But together we work to become more vibrant in the areas of community, spirituality, and justice. Another reminder, if you have thought about being a coordinator from the St. Louis region, please feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to talk through the expectations and help you understand all of the things that you will be supported in doing if you would consider doing that. And finally, we would invite everybody to be part of renewing our commitment. I know traditionally the sisters, they make their annual recommitment to their vows. And associates, most of the associate groups I know have been doing an annual commitment in their own words. We did that when I went in Denver. It was very meaningful. We just did it in Wisconsin, and I'm going to be sharing with their permission some of their commitment statements. It was very inspiring. And so we prepared this brief renewal of commitment to the charism that we invite each of you to say along with me. And when we are finished with that, that will be the end of our evening. Again, thank you for joining us, and thank you for everybody who helped make this possible and for sharing your time. Let's just take a moment to really quiet ourselves so that we can say this from our hearts. I, Mary Armbrust, renew my commitment to living out our charism of loving unity with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet and associates. I recognize my calling to the profound love of God and neighbor without distinction. I renew my commitment to community, spirituality, and justice. I recommit myself to communion with God, the earth, one another, and with all whom I meet. I affirm my belief that Together, we are more. Amen.